Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Today we're looking at Manchester United's player ratings so far this season. Who are the players that have delivered? Who are the players that haven't? And who are the players that need to get better to improve Solskjaer's season? We'll also be giving Solskjaer a mark out of it as well and see who your player of the year so far is. So, starting off, without further ado, let's start off with David De Gea. Remember, you lot have been voting on this through the website as well, unitedstand.com. David De Gea, for me this season, I would give him a 7. 7.1 from you. Yeah, 6 is average in our marking system, so 6 is average. I think De Gea has been much better this season than he has been for quite a while, so I'd be happy with that, with giving him a 7. Dean Henderson, for me, Dean Henderson, I mean, really, a 6. 6.1, fair enough. Yeah, not really played enough games, but when he has played, he's done a reasonable job, so I would give him a 6. I mean, you know what? Axel Tuanzebe, I'm going to give him a 7. 6.6, 6.5 is between 6 and 7. It's a fact. I'll give him a 7. I thought against PSG, he was magnificent. Against Istanbul, not so much so. Subbed at half-time. So somewhere in between, I think a 6.6. Needs more game time. I think, as I said, against PSG was fantastic. We need to see more of Axel Tuanzebe. Eric Bailly, I mean, he did okay. Then he got injured, so I'd give him a 5. You've given him a 4.8. I don't really think anything better than that for Eric Bailly is sufficient. Victor Lindelof, 6. 5.9. You know what? Some of these, I think I'm going to get it wrong. It's always exciting doing this because I give mine and then there's thousands of you who've done yours, whether it's an after-match player ratings or this. So I'm always quite happy when we're quite close. And I would say an average 6 for Lindelof. I think he's been better than Maguire. But I'm not enamoured by the partnership of Lindelof and Maguire. It gives me nightmares. It lacks pace. It's not great. And the only reason it's doing okay at the moment is because we're shielding it with 2 centre defensive midfielders. Harry Maguire, overall season a 5 from me. Bada bing, bada boom. Fair play. You've all gone with a 5 there as well. I think that Harry Maguire this season, when you look at it, awful against Spurs, as we know. And very good against Everton. I just think, in a word, Harry Maguire, and I'm going to give you more than one word, excellent in the air, suspect on the low ball, and he's got to learn to defend the front post from crosses. He lets it go past him all the time, and he's the leader, he's the captain. He's got to must do better. That's my report at this point. So a 5 for me, below average. Luke Shaw, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give him a good score. I'm going to give him a 7. But 6, well, fair play. Even the Luke Shaw haters can't bring him down. Yeah, I think across the season, Luke Shaw's been one of our most consistent players, certainly our best defender. Unfortunate that he's injured now, 2 assists in his last 2 games. Defensively, I've got a lot of confidence in him. I don't think, for a long time, pretty much all this calendar year. I mean, I'll never forget Brandon Williams coming off against Man City and Luke Shaw shifting from left centre-back to left-back against Mahrez and pocketing him, even though he was causing Williams loads of problems. So, yeah, very, very, very good player for us, Luke Shaw, and he's going to be missed, but we've got Telles to come in. Wan-Bissaka, I'd give him a 6.5, 7. I've gone with 7, but I think 6.5. He's been slightly better than average. When he's been good, he's been very good. But he started the season badly. He had a really good run. Then his last 2 games since Arsenal, I mean, Everton, he was better. Arsenal, it was really bad. So a 6.7 is about right. Nemanja Matic, I'd say a 6. 5.8 is probably about right. He's played in games where we performed badly. Istanbul, Spurs. But then he also played against Leipzig in that diamond, which I think is our best performance of the season. So, and I don't think we'll see that again. So he always seems to be the fall guy, Matic, even though I think he's our best holding midfielder. But a mixed season for Matic. Scott McTominay, Mr. Passion in a glass, Mr. Passion fruit. 6, average. Ooh, bloody hell. That's harsh. 5, bloody hell. I thought he was going to get a 6.5. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he's been that bad. I think 6 average for McTominay is okay. I mean, I'm not going to go with the pimped up is amazing. I thought he played well against PSG. He didn't play against Leipzig. He played well against PSG. He played well against Everton. I think, I wouldn't even argue with a 6.5. I just went with a 6 when I thought many would go with a 7. A below average, I don't think even I agree with that, but there you go. Van der Beek, a 7 for me, 6.8. Not played enough. I mean, that's going to be reflected in Solskjaer's score. Not played enough games, but when he has played, especially that last half an hour against Newcastle and the hour that he got against Istanbul, I think he's been very good. He's just not played enough football for Manchester United, which is a real shame. But I would give him a 7 from the 2 that he's done. He can only do it based on what he's playing. Fred, for me this season, I would go as high as an 8, 7.5. Yeah, a few people have obviously gone with an 8, a few people with a 7. 7.5 is probably about fair. I mean, look, he wasn't good against Arsenal, but, some of the games he's played, Leipzig, he was immense. Everton, he was immense. He's quite consistently been one of our best players on the pitch. So, yeah, Fred totally deserves it. And he's a contender for the star, to be honest. Bruno Fernandes, again, I would give him an 8, 8.3 from a lot of people. I mean, even as a Bruno fan, I would say that's probably a little bit high. But, talking about Bruno, I'm just remembered what I'm wearing. At least I'm wearing something. If you want to get your Christmas jumpers, new out design, links in the video description. Come let us adore him. And many of you do. 8.3 for Bruno Fernandes. I've given him an 8. Look, he's had some bad games this season. Let's be honest. He has had some bad games. But he's had some fantastic games as well. And even in the bad games, he's still delivered. If you think about that Brighton goal right at the end, if he misses that, we drop 2 points when we deserve to drop 2 points. We win that game. Pressure cooker. The 2 penalties against PSG, the first one saved, the retake, and then he puts it away. He's just such a leader. He's such a focal point. He is the fire starter. He's integral to the team. So, yeah, an 8.3 is probably about right. Paul Pogba, I mean, look, it's got to be low for me. It's a 4, and I'm a big fan of Paul Pogba, but I'm glad that people have gone a bit higher than that because I do think that there are mitigating circumstances. I don't think he's fully fit. I think some of the criticism is really harsh. But in relation to Paul Pogba and what he can do, I would be lying if I gave him any better than a 4 because 2 penalties conceded this season, both of them, just not thinking, off the pace. I think he's just off the pace Pogba, that's the thing. And look, an average Paul Pogba, a 6, is still a very, very good player because he's a very good player. Is he just been just below average at a 5? Not for me. I think he's been 2 stages below average. So for me, it's a 4. I think he will get better. I do like Paul Pogba, but that's an honest reflection from me. So 4.8 from the rest of you. I went with a 4, which obviously some people did to make it 4.8. Juan Mata this season, below average, 5 for me, 5.4. I mean, I don't have an issue with people giving him a 6 average, but I would give him below average. I don't get it. with Mata. I thought he played well against Newcastle when Van der Beek and Bruno played with him, but I don't think he played well against Everton. I really don't think he played well against Everton. I think Digne had him absolutely on toast. He just was running past him. And I think Mata's a player when you're playing Fulham at home, or maybe West Brom at home, but I don't think Mata's a player that you play away to Istanbul, where he was dreadful. I don't think he's a player where you play away to Everton. I just don't think he's got the legs for that anymore. So I think Mata's got a role to play in the squad, and he's a very good footballer. But I'm not enamoured again. I've used that word twice. I'm not over the moon with, Mata's got to start. For me, I just don't see it. But obviously some people do. Dan James, I mean, look, it's got to be a 4, 3.7. Some people have gone for a 3. I mean, I think that's a little bit harsh. I think Dan James has underperformed. I don't think Manchester United's the club for Dan James at the moment. I still think he's got a future at Manchester United, but I don't think we can give him the game time that he needs. He's sort of been thrown in at the deep end. And I don't think we play the way that suits Dan James. Most people sit deep against us. You've got to play your way through. Dan James is a bit of a kick and run sort of player. That's not offensive. There are players like that all over world football, but it doesn't suit Manchester United because most teams will play a deep line against us because of the pace that we have got. So Dan James is found wanting in this system, and he struggled again this season. Rashford, when he's hot, he's hot. When he's not, he's not. I think he's a 7. 6.9. High five. I love it when we get virtually the same score. Yeah, I think Rashford's been better than average this season. I mean, think about some of the performances he's put in. He came on as that Leipzig game. I keep referring back to it. I think that's the most impressive one. He came on. He got his hat trick. Then he didn't get a hat trick. Actually, did he? He refused the hat trick with the penalty for Martial. But he's PSG didn't play that well, missed a lot of chances, but then scored the great goal at the end. So character building season from Rashford, and I think he's well worthy of a better than an average 6. So yeah, above average season for him. Mason, I would give him a 6. Some people have gone slightly below that, but we're very close again. He's not been bad. He's just had a very mixed season. A lot of things going off the pitch. Obviously, the England thing was disruptive, but I think Mason Greenwood a 6 is good. Martial, I mean, look, he's not scored a goal this season apart from in the Champions League. He had the red card as well, which I think was, he's basically missed 3.5 Premier League games. He's missed 50% of our season in the Premier League because of that stupid red card. The first couple of games of the season, we were atrocious and we weren't creating anything. So I don't think we've really seen Martial start this season. So I would say Martial, even though I really like him, has had a below average season. And most of it's not of his making. It's either, crap team behind him not creating chances or being suspended. I think in Europe, Martial's looked really good. PSG and Leipzig, but we need to see that in the Premier League. So look, I'm not afraid to give one of my favourite players a below average score. I like Pogba as well. So yeah, I'd give Martial a 5. I mean, Ighalo, who are you? We've barely seen you. And when he has been given a chance, it's not been great. So I'd have to give him a 4, 3.1 from you. I mean, you could go that low. It's just not part of the plans, is he? Cavani. We've barely seen him. It just seems wrong to give him anything better than an average 6 through no fault of his own. I mean, well taken goal against Everton, but we've really barely seen him. Even when he came on against Chelsea, he's still got a couple of shots in. So I think he's going to be a useful player, but on this basis, I would only give him a 6. And then the big one, Manchester United's manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so far this season. Oh, you've got to take... I mean, this is the biggest one of the lot. And it's going to be very interesting to see how you have voted. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for this season, if 6 has been average, really bad start to the season. Crystal Palace beat us at home. Brighton should have beat us, but we scraped a win. Spurs smashed us. We came back. Newcastle was a bit dodgy until that last half an hour. Then we played really well. PSG and Leipzig, fantastic. Istanbul, poor. Arsenal and Chelsea, really poor. And then Everton, a good win, which on another day could have been a draw, but we won 3-1, but we deserved to win it. So, when you go back through the results, terrible start to the season, disappointing against Arsenal and Chelsea. Leipzig and PSG were fantastic. Newcastle was good. Everton was good. So I would say, I'm tempted to give him an average 6, but we're talking about Manchester United here. Has it been an average Manchester United season? No. So for me, it's a 5. Boom! Bang on. Well done. That means the vast majority have gone with a 5. So just below average for Solskjaer at the moment. Definitely room for improvement. I'm not going to give him average because that is accepting that this season so far is acceptable as an average season for United. An average season for United used to be second in the league and, doing quite well. So below average from me, for Ollie, for me. Not terrible by any means. Certainly not terrible. But a below average 5, I would agree with that. It's going to be interesting how these scores change. And my player of the year so far would either be Fred or Bruno. I'm going to go with Bruno. I've put my star on there, submit my vote, and 72% of the vote gets Bruno Fernandes then. So Bruno Fernandes is player of the season so far. Look, not a massive amount of the season gone. I take that on board, but still a very interesting thing to do. There's been enough games for consistency to kick in. And I think that the reality is when you go through those scores, there's not that many above 7. There's not many above 7. Luke Shaw's hovering around it. Marcus Rashford's hovering around it. Bruno and Fred surpass it. That's it. I can't think of it. David De Gea around a 7 as well. That is the story of Manchester United season so far. Van der Beek a 7. So, 7 is slightly better than average. I think 6 average, 7 good, 8 very good, 9 excellent, 10 perfect. We've got not many players who are doing better than average. And we've got quite a lot of players below average. That needs to change between now and Christmas and January, definitely. Anyway, thanks everyone for getting involved. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Make sure you get your Christmas jumper. The link's in the video description. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.